What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my Dune Part 2 movie review, and I'm super excited to share my thoughts of this masterpiece of a film by Denis Villeneuve. Now, you guys may know me if you are familiar with who I am. My name is Richie Malora, and I make content on other YouTube channels all about New York sports and the NFL and the NBA. That's usually what I do here on YouTube, but some of you guys don't know this. I happen to be a gigantic movie buff. I have been my entire life, and I thought to make this video because I am so obsessed with Dune Part 2. I already saw it twice in theaters, and I had to share my thoughts for anybody that's interested, or maybe you're discovering this YouTube channel, you have no idea who I am, and you're just looking for Dune 2 reviews. I'm excited to share my thoughts, but more importantly, I want to get your guys' thoughts in the comments about Dune 2 because it is an absolute masterpiece that I cannot get out of my brain, and I'm super excited to break down the biggest themes, my biggest takeaways from this overall movie from Denis Villeneuve. So let's get straight into business. Now, the first thing I want to say is when I walked out of the theater after witnessing this film, I immediately thought to myself, that was my favorite movie I've ever seen. Now, I usually always feel like that after watching a movie that I love because I'm so passionate about film. I'm so passionate about the science fiction genre as a whole. But just speaking from my own experience, Dune is everything I've ever wanted in a science fiction movie in terms of the themes, the landscape, the scope, the absolute stellar score by Hans Zimmer, the cinematography. Everything about Dune is phenomenal. And what Denis Villeneuve has done for us is something magnificent that will be talked about for centuries in the film industry. Now, the beautiful thing about Denis Villeneuve, the director of Dune, that I love, is he's fulfilling his childhood dream. He read Dune when he was 16, 17 years old, and it's all coming full circle, bringing this to life. Now, the performances from Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The cast is absolutely stacked, but this was the moment for me where I felt Timothée Chalamet really stepped up his game. He was already known as a Hollywood star. He was already looked at as one of the, rising actors in Hollywood, but this movie for me really made me feel like, damn, Timothée Chalamet is absolutely on another level when it comes to acting, especially in the third act of the movie. Now, I'm not going to get into any spoilers until maybe the end of the video, so don't you worry. If you have not watched the movie, I'm not going to spoil it just yet. I'll give you a warning. But what Timothée Chalamet did, even in Dune 1, I thought he, resembled Paul Atreides in a great way. I felt like, he was a good actor for the role, but I never was blown away by Chalamet's performance in Dune 1. Dune 2, wow, it makes sense why Denis Villeneuve said that he was born to play the character of Paul Atreides, because what he did in that third act was absolutely breathtaking. He stole the show, and I was watching this movie with my jaw on the floor, could not even believe it. So he stole the show for me. Zendaya, because she absolutely was phenomenal and a key point to the love story of this film. And I also wanted to say, if you did not watch this film and you're thinking of going to see it, make sure you go to an IMAX theater because this movie was filmed and designed for the IMAX big screen. The sound design from Hans Zimmer mixed with the visuals of Denis Villeneuve and Greg Fraser, the excellent cinematographer that Denis Villeneuve has working for him on Dune 2, is nothing short of breathtaking, masterpiece, spectacle, eye candy type of stuff here. If you're unfamiliar with what Dune 2 and Dune in general is all about, I'm going to break it all down. And the coolest thing about Dune Part 2 that people need to realize, because now everyone is talking about the debate, what's better, Dune 1 or Dune 2? Guess what? It's the same exact story. Dune 1 is the first half of the book. Dune 2 is the second half of the book. It's basically a 6-hour epic film all in one. And after watching Dune 2, it absolutely elevates Dune 1 into another level. And same thing, when you watch Dune 1, you get to appreciate Dune 2 because it's one gigantic story that Denis Villeneuve did not want to jam-pack all into one film, which is why he separated it into two different films. Now, getting back into the story and why it's so compelling, the themes are off the charts, whether it's about religion, politics, revenge, love. There's so many stories, and the reason why I personally love it is because I love immersing myself into a fantasy world, and the lore of Dune is so immersive, and it's a film that you really have to open your mind and kind of invest in getting lost in the whole laws of the universe. What is spice? Why is spice such an important substance in the overall theme and lore of Dune? But the main reason why I personally fell in love with Dune 1 and then Dune 2 comes out and it levels it up to another level is the overall overall theme and the storyline behind the prophecy, right? So you know the Bene Gesserit, Lady Jessica, plays by Rebecca Ferguson, who's the mother of Timothée Chalamet's character, Paul Atreides. The overall, like, prophecy and the Messiah, the idea of planting a religion in the Fremen culture, of them waiting for the Lisan al-Gaib, which is basically their Messiah, to be their savior, it's all fake. And I felt the religion and the overall theme of faith to really blind a certain culture, to let them believe in something so the Bene Gesserit, the sisterhood, can have overall control over that culture, because they're the ones who's sitting in the shadows and literally control everything. They are the reasons why everything's going on in the universe. And the cool thing you find out in the lore of Dune is that the prospect of Paul Atreides becoming the Kwisatz Haderach, which is basically the one in the Bene Gesserit culture, he's one of many prospects that they have. And I feel like the overall lore and the idea of the Bene Gesserit planting a seed in the Fremen culture for them to have this religious belief that there is somebody coming, and they writ all these different things in their texts, and now here comes Paul Atreides, here comes the being from the outer world, and they're all looking at him as the Messiah. They're all looking at him as the Mahdi, the Lisan al-Gaib. You know, you feel that type of blindness, and you feel the manipulation of the Bene Gesserit. And I feel like Zendaya is such an important piece of the entire story.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
Because she is the one who is not blinded by that belief. She is not blinded by the whole Lisan al-Gaib. She sees the truth. She sees the manipulation from the Bene Gesserit. And I feel like her character is such an important piece of the overall story for us to kind of sit back and see the truth behind everything that is going on. And the coolest part about it, too, is Paul Atreides, he feels that sense of destiny.
Nothing's clear.
He feels himself going down a path that he doesn't want to go down. The resistance, he has visions of the future. Some visions come true. Some visions don't come true. And he has his overall destiny that he knows he has to fulfill that he's absolutely terrified of. And he wants to resist it the entire movie. He does not want to go down the path, but eventually he realizes he has no choice. And when he goes down the path and goes down south to the planet Arrakis, to where literally the millions of Fremen live that have been waiting for their Messiah, he shows up and he becomes an absolute being. And I feel like now this is where we're getting into some spoiler talk. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but basically what I wanted to bring up is the whole concept of the anti-hero. Right? I'm a big Star Wars fan. Star Wars was inspired by Dune, and you can see it in this film because Paul Atreides reminds me of Anakin Skywalker. That scene when he has his hood on and he drinks the water of life, he gets resurrected, and he arrives in the setting of letting all the Fremen people know, I am your Lisan al-Gaib, and I'm using basically the Fremen soldiers and the Fremen as a whole to go after the Empire and avenge my father's death and then start a holy war on the entire universe. That's why Zendaya's character is so important, because she sees the truth behind it all. And us leaving as an audience, we're like, do we root for Paul Atreides? Is he a hero? Is he an anti-hero? Well, that's why Frank Herbert had to write the book Dune Messiah, which is going to be the third movie of the trilogy, to kind of clear up the air that, yeah, Paul Atreides, he's no hero. He's an anti-hero. So that's my overall thoughts of the movie, guys. There's so much to unpack, and this is my first time ever making a video talking about movies and talking about Dune in general. I can go on for hours and hours and hours talking about this, but I'm not going to bore you too much. If you enjoyed my thoughts of the movie, enjoyed my thoughts of overall, talking about Dune, let me know in the comment section. This is a video that I just made for like the fun of it. I don't really expect anybody to watch or really like engage, and I don't really have a following in the movie world, but I have such a desire and a passion to talk about this, and since I make content about sports, I'm like, I'm just making a video about Dune, and whoever watches it gets to watch it. I'm not even caught up in the numbers and who watches or who doesn't, and who likes it or who doesn't. That's really how I think about it. So let me know in the comments your thoughts of Dune Part 2. I'm excited to go see it for a third and fourth time. Yeah, I'm crazy. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Richie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Fear is the mind killer. Peace out.